Video games have come a long way since the days of finding out that your princess was in another castle, but sometimes those climactic moments just don't stick the landing. After fighting your way through hours of gameplay, getting a poorly made ending can almost ruin the entire experience, and make you remember them for all the wrong reasons. Here are the most infuriating video game endings we've ever played. Mass Effect 3. After a trilogy loaded with seemingly endless hours of content, each and every Mass Effect player had their own unique Commander Shepard. Molded by the decisions they'd made in every encounter, all of those personal choices had consequences, leading to brilliant moments like the climactic mission of Mass Effect 2, where the outcome was determined by how much time you'd spent getting to know your crew and their specialties. That's what made the journey through Mass Effect's universe feel alive and real. Then came Mass Effect 3, in which Shepard's massive struggle against the Reapers culminated with a trip to the galaxy's most high-tech child daycare center. Here you're stuck negotiating the fate of the universe with a little boy called the Catalyst, who offers you your pick of 3 predetermined color-coded cutscenes. Thousands of decisions, hours of gameplay, and the non-linear experience of a lifetime, and it all comes down to choosing red, blue, or green. While BioWare released extended endings in response to fan uproar, it still didn't fix the damage that this underwhelming final choice did to an otherwise fantastic series. Batman: Arkham Asylum. The final boss fight of Arkham Asylum isn't bad enough to retroactively ruin the game, but it is so crushingly stupid that it definitely feels like the developers at Rocksteady just ran out of better ideas. Let's turn the Joker into a giant muscle monster was not a good twist to throw at Batman fans. The character of the Joker is all about mind games, putting heroes in unwinnable situations. But his endgame move in Arkham Asylum was to transform himself into something that Batman had been beating up pretty consistently for the past 12 hours. It makes no sense. And that's before the part where Batman's big solution is to blow up his own hand by punching the Joker with explosives. The sequel, Arkham City, actually did a decent job showing some of the consequences of this nonsense, but Asylum really dropped the ball with its big finale. Borderlands. In Borderlands, you spend the entire game working towards opening the Vault, a chamber filled with untold riches and secrets. To do that, you need a key, and when you finally acquire it, you kick off an epic finale where you fight your way to the Vault's entrance. And don't open it.
The key won't open the Vault for another 200 years.
As it turns out, no one can open the Vault, so the ending consists of you handing off the key to a scientist and then going back to whatever boring mercenary adventures you were doing before. It's a non-ending, and to this day it remains one of gaming's most infamous bait-and-switch finales. Halo 2. Halo 2 had some serious deadline issues, and in order to get the game released on time, certain things needed to be cut, including a level that would have picked up right after Master Chief's infamous cliffhanger line.
You mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
The ending we got, though, set the stage for an epic finale, but cut to black just moments before it started. While they obviously got the chance to tie things together and make up for it in Halo 3, the fact remains that Halo 2's lack of closure pretty much started the bad trend of sequel bait anti-endings in AAA video games. In this sense, this isn't just a bad ending from a narrative perspective. Its negative consequences transcended the game and trickled into the real world. It doesn't get much worse than that. Sonic Forces. Sonic Forces is a mess. The cutscenes are weirdly short and full of lazy animation, and some even had obvious errors like Shadow and Rogue smiling cheerfully as the sun itself is about to burn them to death. The climactic levels are easy enough that they could almost be tutorials, and the story's resolution wraps up in such a way that you can tell the writers either didn't care or didn't have time to. There were 2 major questions driving the plot. How will Sonic and company stop Infinite and Eggman, and how will classic Sonic get home? Neither question gets a real answer. The 2 villains just disappear after a couple of ridiculously simple fights, and classic Sonic simply fades back into his own timeline without even an attempt at an explanation. This is all the proof we needed that we weren't getting the epic adventure we were promised. Middle-earth: Shadow of War. The ending of Middle-earth: Shadow of War is actually great. The only problem is that it's locked behind a fake-out ending and way too much grinding. The first ending, achieved by naturally progressing through the game's story, featured a disappointing QuickTime event showdown with Sauron. To get to the actual true ending, though, you had to go through hours of busy work, conquering endless generic fortresses and claiming dominion over the orcs of Mordor. It's exactly what you'd been doing for the whole game, but this time there was no plot to break up the constant grinding until you finally earned the last cutscene. Darksiders 2. Darksiders 2's ending is a letdown for a couple of reasons, and the first problem is that there's no real build-up to it. You just find out it's time to fight Absalom, you go and beat him up, and then bam! One quick cutscene and the adventure's over. While the fight is interesting from a gameplay perspective, it's far too easy for a final boss, leaving you with no real feeling of accomplishment. It all leads to the epic reveal of Death sacrificing himself to restore humanity and undo the crimes of his brother, War. But then there's another immediate twist. War already freed himself from prison and summoned the other horsemen to his aid, which instantly and ironically returns Death to life. Basically, the ending reduced the whole game to being a fun waste of time. That wouldn't have been so bad if Darksiders 2 was actually just the middle of a 4-part saga as planned by Vigil, but unfortunately, THQ imploded and took Vigil with it. Here's hoping we get a better resolution when Darksiders 3 is released by new studio Gunfire Games.